Hello, today is Sunday the 19th of August 2018 and I am at Baltschiederklause in Wallis in Switzerland, and I climbed up here. So this is 2,800 meters almost, 2,783 if I'm not mistaken, and I climbed up here yesterday from Fischb, and the weather was pretty good. It said it was going to rain in the forecast, but the weather was pretty good. And probably further today I'm going to go down. I might explore the moraines of the glaciers a little bit around here, but then I will go down. So let me explain a few things about this valley. So you can see these two ridges, 1, 2, along the valley, and then you can see a small stream flowing down in between them. And there you see there's this patch of rock. It's very smooth, it's very polished. It's like the edge of a wine bottle. And the reason why this valley looks like this is because there used to be a glacier here. So and the bedrock is a bit crumbly, so when the glacier was flowing down the mountain from there, it was pushing out of its way all this debris, all this rubble, and then it was pushing it to the side of the ice flow, and then it formed these moraines. So you can tell by the way that the valley looks like here, there was no glacier. The glacier was in between those moraines and it was flowing there. And because it's so heavy and viscous, when it flows, it polishes the rock underneath, and it formed that bit there, that plane. So then this stream goes down, and then it meets in that plane, in that glacial plane, it meets up with a stream from this other side, from this other glacier there. Now, so that peak is 3,200 meters, I think, or 300, and you can go fairly close to there. So you see there's a trail there it goes there, and then you go there, and you can sort of make out a trail onto that saddle. And so that glacier is still partially exposed, and you can see that it's almost gone. It used to be fairly big, so like 150 years ago this entire valley would have been overhanging with ice from the glacier. And so it's melting and it creates this other stream, and here, because the bedrock was somewhat harder, you can see that you don't see those lateral glacial moraines. You just see this this bowl that was carved by the ice. And right, so they used to meet down there, and down there, like where the streams meet today, there's a glacial plain, and the way that it works is that glacial plain was formed by silting after the ice melted away. So these streams that flow from the mountain, they contain a large amount of sediment in the water. It's called rock flour, and these are tiny particles of rock that are being ground at the surface between ice and rock by the flow of the ice. So this rock flour, when it reaches when the stream reaches an area that is not so steep and it slows down a bit, the rock flour sinks to the bottom, and it creates these sedimentary plains, these silt plains that form these braids of the river. They're called, in Alaska they're called braids, but here I don't know. I mean, it's the same phenomenon. And you can't see it from here. So this valley curves right, and it enters a canyon, and you climb on the canyon wall to get here actually. And that canyon is a bit grassier, so here we're pretty high up. It's 800 meters, but at about 2,000 meters you start seeing real grass again. And grass, I mean, there's a bit of grass here, but it's not very, like you see, it's not very thick and it's not very widespread, because grass needs some sort of, well, a bit warmer temperatures, and it needs the soil to be a little bit more stable than it is here, and a little bit more thick. So here, these areas are being colonized by grass, but it will take a long time before there's an actual systematic grass growing here. So there and there, in that canyon, as you go down, you also go down through a patch of blueberries, and it's huge. I think it's like hundreds of square meters of just completely ripe blueberries ready for the picking. And then there's another canyon afterwards with a drop similar to this one, and that part of the valley, of the Baltschiedertal Valley, is plugged by avalanche snow. So in winter you get avalanches coming down all these walls of the valleys, and then the snow piles up at the bottom of the valley, and then it starts melting, but it doesn't always get to melt completely over the summer. So sometimes you get these Lawinenkegel, they're called in German, these plugs that form, and then they last for a year or maybe two. So it becomes firn. So snow that survives for more than 1 year is called firn. And yeah, anyway, so it will take about 6 or 7 hours, 6 hours to go down. It took 8 hours to come up. The reason why it takes similarly to go down as it does to come up is because the trail is very steep, and it's not easy. Like, it's not just easy to walk on the way down. There's some ibexes in this valley right here. They are these animals with giant horns. They're goat-like animals with giant horns, and I saw 3 of them yesterday right about there, and they were grazing on these tiny flowers. Very pretty. So yeah, and this is the cabin. This is where I slept last night. I mean, it's very big. It's also, I think, one of the oldest cabins in Switzerland. It was built in 1815, whereas most of the like super high altitude cabins were built in the late 1800s. So unfortunately, there's no drinking water here. So in winter or in spring you can melt some snow, but in summer you really have nothing to drink. So you have to carry from those streams some water up. There are a lot of Klettersteig paths, so Via Ferratas. And you can see there's these people that I met at the cabin last night, and we had dinner together. They are climbing up the mountain. So you can climb up quite a bit, but I don't think you can climb up all the way up, but yeah. And yeah, it's very peaceful out here and incredibly quiet, and it is one of the most beautiful alpine valleys I have explored. I highly recommend, just taking, and it's not even expensive. Like, if you want to sleep at the hut, if you're a member of the Swiss Alpine Club, it's 30 francs, so $30. And then if you also want food, it's another 20. So it's basically, I mean, considering where we are and the fact that all of this food has to be flown in by helicopter and all that stuff, I think it's a very good deal. Okay, well, thank you for watching, and see you later.